Okay, which chapter that you find the most interesting? So I list out all the lecture that I gave to them until lecture 14. So I found out that lecture 7, that is about network topologies. This the most interesting chapter where it helps the lecturer to improve. So when I got these results, so I know lecture 7 was very, the student quite interested with the lecture 7. But not like lecture 9 until lecture 11. So it means when, let's say if I teach them again, or maybe for other instructor, they can use based on these findings or based on these results to improve how they can actually make the student attract to other lecture. Okay, maybe the topologies itself is actually quite interesting because we involve the star, ring, mesh. The rest is about more on the information. Okay, and then we go to the third questions. It's also close-ended questionnaire. Okay, this one about social media. Examples I gave here: WhatsApp Messenger created in a group helps students to get information faster by providing an effective two-way. For my subject, this time I decide to use the WhatsApp, and I create 4 WhatsApp group. Easy for me to update all the information. Sometimes every week about the lab, I will tell them, okay, I already upload this on, so please open this, because students, even though we already said during the first lecture, they will always forget to check it every week. So this is my style. So any questions, I will only reply to this WhatsApp group, not personal message. So I will reply to the personal message. Okay, this survey achieved the highest response rates, which is about 89.78%, where majority strongly agree to this effective approach. And then we have the final questionnaire. Okay, this one I use the predefined questions using survey module in goals because I don't have enough time, so I just use the predefined questions have been built in the goals, the modules. So these are some variety answers that I received. However, I only choose the 5 interesting as an indicator to extract useful responses. So 104 learners respond to answer this open-ended question. 82 learners did not respond to this survey because they need to think. So sometimes they don't even actually understand what is the question. I received the lowest response rates, 56.45 for this type of question, due to the nature of the format where the respondent had to think and write their opinions. So I share what are the questions. At what moment in class were you most engaged as a learner? So these are 5 of the answers that I choose randomly, which I think gave me a very proper sentence that I can also understand. All the time in lab and lecture, very interesting and comfortable to learn, and also when get high mark is here. So that makes them happy. In the beginning of the class, okay, maybe starting of the class, and after that I'm not sure whether they still engaged to the class or not. And third, when the lecturer show videos that are related to the topic, besides when the lecturer was using the drawing tools to explain to us about the topic. So when I teach them, I don't actually just use the slides presentation. Sometimes I use videos, sometimes I draw using some PowerPoint tools, because it's hard for me to use the whiteboard, because in FAQS the projector is actually on top of the whiteboard is actually behind the projector. So it's hard for me to use the whiteboard. So I use the PowerPoint tools, the drawing tools to describe and draw again, okay, instead of just reading the slides. Okay, practical session based on the computer, peer-to-peer. I have the lab also, so sometimes I did the practical part when there was a discussion between lecturer and students. Then the second questions of the final survey. Okay, at what moment in class were you most engaged as a learner? I think, sorry, the question is wrong for the second one because it's a copy paste. The second question should be, let me see on the paper. The second question should be, at what moment in class were you most distant as a learner? Sorry, not an engaged, distant as a learner. So the answer is correct. Okay, the answer here is about never have this moment when I fall asleep and unable to give full concentration because the lecture was at night. Okay, PT I've got the lecture actually from 8 to 10 p.m. and the student already quite packed with the schedule from morning until 10 p.m. So they aren't able to give full concentration. And third, during lecture, so the same answer, too strict of using language in English. Okay, when I teach them, I use English. But during the lab session, sometimes I will ask them, do you understand this? I will try to ask them, what's the meaning of this? Okay, open this app, dictionary.com, install if you don't have. I will ask the student normally to install dictionary.com apps, okay, instead of using other methods. 5, lecture class, because too many students. I have like nearly 200 students and hard for me sometimes to know whether they really understand or not. Too many students. And the third question of the final survey, what action from anyone in the forums did you find? The contents of the question is related about the forum in the goals. So when anyone in this forum talk about due date and work to do outside this forum, actions that have good explanation, follow the guidelines when other student posted new posts in the forum. Okay, this is the very easy questions. And then final question, what action from anyone in the forums did you find most puzzling or confusing? Okay, not follow the guidelines. Some of them just simply post without understanding about the topic. So far, I did not face any situation when I see someone post something which is difficult for me to understand. When everyone interacting with each other at the same time. Let me. Okay, next proceed with the issues and challenges faced by the learners. So I identified through verbal communication during the teaching and also during the lab, and also through my observation during the entire course. So the first one, I figured out limited access to the network where some of the students only depend on the internet access only during the lab session. So for those who can't afford to buy the mobile data or whatever, they just limit, maybe just for Facebook or WhatsApp. They don't limit for the goals, so they only depends during the lab. Secondly, bandwidth issues and connectivity of free Wi-Fi provided by USIM is accessible and high Wi-Fi signal for certain places. Sometimes if you go to this floor, it's okay, but when you go to the third floor, it's not working. So a higher bandwidth due to the combination of multimedia elements. So when you use a lot of animation, you need a lot of bandwidth to allow the video to buffer and load. Slow bandwidth creates frustration and boredom among learners and the third, challenges or issues. Learners were allowed to use lab in the faculty only during the lab session and monitored by an instructor. So normally I always teach in FPQS. I found out even though when I'm this lecturer came late a bit because I have to solat first and sometimes I have another meeting or whatever, the instructor does not, the technician does not allow the student to enter the lab unless the instructor was there. So I think it's limit the students to explore or to use the lab itself. So I think maybe because some of the rules that has been broke by the students make that technician angry or not allow them to use during the instructor is there. I think that is one of the reason. But maybe we can try to solve this problem. Number 4, learners feel disappointed when the online quiz could not be completed within the time due to the network server error by goals. This could be too many learners access at one time and limited database server. So that is my assumption. I'm not sure from goals. So I assume maybe at one time, at concurrent time, too many try to answer the online quiz. But normally when I did the online quiz, I make like 2 days or 1 day at any time. But normally students prefer to do it last minute. That's why it gets stuck and jammed. I have conducted like 4 or 3 online quiz. So I faced like 2 times the network server error. And using the WhatsApp group, so I get the feedback from them quite fast, so I immediately informed the girls to fix it, and the girls also quite very supportive. They fix it very quick, which is good. Okay, then we came to the conclusion. So it is hoped that this study will benefit the instructor and the institution to produce more conducive e-learning tools towards improving the implementation of blended learning methods in Malaysian higher education. On top of that, the way discourse learning was taught could be improved based on the findings. Okay, I open the question to the floor. Is there any questions that you want to ask or you want to share, give your opinion? Okay, Farid.
Since we don't have any question, so we'll continue to the next presenters. But before that, I would like.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
all of the presenters.
Oh, okay, all. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay. Next, I'll be also the moderator for this next session. So I will call. We call Puan Juliana Niza Ismail Adnan to deliver her presentation.
Supposed to hold on. Okay. I need to open the website, so maybe I can show. Why is it taking so long? Kenapa? Okay. No, I want to open my goals page. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Juliana Niza binti Ismail Adnan. I'm from the Faculty of Major Languages Studies. My topic for today would be on MUET on Moodle and evaluation of an e-learning platform for learner to, which I'm very passionate about because I'm in the field of language learning. It's different from any other fields of study, like mathematics, engineering, or chemistry. We don't have formulas to memorize. We don't have facts or figures for you to go and get one answer at a click of a button. So one thing about language learning is it's something which is very interactive and it's very based on performance and skills. All right, and due to that, using e-learning platform for language learning, we have to really see whether the tools do support such learning for the field of language learning. All right, and this is the main reason for my study. I do apologize if my slides are a bit too wordy. I'm from the language field. So when I look at the slides before me, even the key speaker, they're all very short, very concise, and I'm very, very wordy. So I do apologize for that because I'm a language person. Okay, so as you can see, my first slide. All right, now, so we can see that there are a lot of studies on the use of technological advances in education, and they claim various benefits for students. And this particular research has summarized it beautifully for all of us. So some of the advances, technological advances in education that we can see for students are actually increased motivation, self-concept, mastery of basic skills, increased student-centered learning, as well as promote learner autonomy. And this is going to be my focus for this study, right? Now, Simpson, however, which I cited from Sadie, asserts ICT alone does not generate autonomous learning, despite all the studies stating that ICT or technological tools, they do allow learner autonomy. But the thing is, ICT alone does not mean that students will have or practice autonomous learning. All right? And why is this? Because according to Canning, all right, though IT may offer opportunities in self-directed learning, in other words, learner autonomy, the effective use of these tools or resources assumes certain prerequisites. And unless learners already have certain attitudes, certain skills and strategies, they are unlikely to derive much benefit from these tools. In other words, we have these tools, but if the students don't know how to use them, they may not actually be, or they don't have the skills or strategies or the techniques on how to go and fully utilize these tools, then they may not be practicing self-directed learning. All right, so in other words, such programs must be seen as primarily suited to advanced students with propensity for autonomy. Not everyone, according to the studies of learner autonomy, students are not all students are good language learners naturally. Some of them, they have to actually be taught, all right, on how to become good language learners. And this is something which we have to be clear about, yeah? All right, so the important question that needs to be asked by course developers and teachers especially is to what extent ICT tools help in fostering learner autonomy. All right, so my research focus is basically on evaluating Moodle. Moodle is the main tool that we use in USIM as well as a lot of universities in most fields of study, including language learning. Yeah, but for my study, for this particular paper, to what extent does Moodle actually help to support language learning in terms of learner autonomy, fostering learner autonomy, or self-directed learning? Yeah. So these are the two things that I'm going to go and tools in order to determine its capacity in promoting autonomous language learning. The second focus would be to review the content of MUET exam preparatory course Moodle page to determine the extent that the materials that this particular page has uploaded helps in fostering learner autonomy. So there are two things. I'm looking at the tools offered by Moodle, and I'm going to look at my particular teaching context, which is the MUET exam preparatory course that uses Moodle application. We're going to go and evaluate that particular content and see whether whatever that has been uploaded or offered to the students, it does foster learner autonomy. All right, so a little bit of teaching context. I've mentioned earlier on, Moodle is actually under learning management system, or in certain books, we call it virtual learning environments. All right, so I might use this interchangeably, LMS or VLES, and of course, it's one of the main tools used in USIM. Our goals is Moodle, yeah, just in case you're not clear, yeah. Our goals is using the Moodle system, right? Now, MUET exam preparatory course, or the popular word for it, English 3, all right, is a course that is offered to students for 1 semester for 3 hours per week. It's mandatory for students who have not achieved Band 3. And this is important to my study because we have to understand the background of the students. Students who have not achieved Band 3, meaning MUET Band 1, MUET Band 2, are lower proficiency students. Yeah? All right. So these are the things that are offered in the course. I was told by Puan Najwa just now to go and cut short some of my slides, but you can go and access them later on through my studies. These are the things that I have uploaded on Moodle. I would actually prefer to show it to you, but I'm not sure why. The web link is a bit slow. It doesn't want to upload my Moodle page. So I do apologize, but if you're wondering, okay, what is on the MUET course content, this is it, okay? All right. Now, learner autonomy means, all right, the ability of the learner to take on responsibility towards his or her own learning. And as you can see, there is an extensive references referred to it. It was first introduced in 1979 by Holak, if I'm not mistaken. And the study, this field has gone quite numerous extensive and it has been gone until up to this point. Yeah, so it's not really a new concept. All right, so the principle of learner autonomy is derived from the theory that language acquisition occurs when students take an active role in their language learning. All right, so they find language learning much more meaningful, and they are able to go and due to that, when they take an active role, they take the responsibility, then they will become better language learners. All right. So in order for you to go and language learners, they have to develop the capacity to be autonomous. All right. They will find that language learning is much more meaningful when given the opportunity to actively engage in strategies for learning a new language. They take risks and they reflect on their own language learning. So this is basically why learning autonomy is one of the most popular field in language learning, because if students learn language, they expect to learn it just within the 3 hours in the classroom, and they don't read outside of the class. They don't practice speaking English. They don't go and do anything beyond the classroom. Their language acquisition is going to go not going to be that well developed. Yeah, because if you look at the most research on second language acquisition, the most learners who are able to go and learn language are those who I want to read, I want to go and develop, go and find information, and these are the type of learners who will develop vocabulary extensively. Yeah. So why is learner autonomy important in a MUET class? I would like to go and share this particular quotation from Burgess and Head. All right, how to go and teach an exam class. Good exam teachers know how to foster each learner's ability to recognize their own strengths and weaknesses. They are able to suggest strategies to build up those skills and knowledge which might otherwise let the students down in the exam. Helping learners to develop autonomous learning skills is important because independent learners will learn more and have better understanding of their abilities than students who rely solely or depend solely on what they are taught in class. This is why in an exam class, learner autonomy is very, very important. All right, so not just about learning what is being taught to you, but you have to know, you have to go and develop your vocabulary, develop your language ability outside, beyond the class. Okay, so I've shared with you some of the literature reviews or other studies on learner autonomy. I'd like to share something on the local scene. Yeah, so a study by Singh and MB on online distance learning actually found that students themselves perceive themselves not to be independent learners. All right, and this highlights the point. Okay, so we have these ICT tools, we have all these particular software and courseware with the objectives of developing their self-directed learning, but through the studies of our local context, the students themselves say no. We don't think we are independent learners. They believe that any online courses depends on the teachers, the tutors, and friends, and this defeats the purpose of self-directed learning. So the success of any online tools, if they say it depends on the teacher, depends on the friends, depends on someone to push them, then that's not learner autonomy. Yeah. All right. So in order for us to go, and this is when we go into Moodle. Before an evaluation of the Moodle tool can be carried out, we have to understand the tools and the functionalities of the it into two classifications. I got this from Costa, and I also got this from the Moodle website. It has resources and it has modules. All right, those are the main classifications. So under resources, resources represent instructional materials that are usually created in digital formats and uploaded onto the platform. So what resources are the web pages, the text documents, the PowerPoint slides, all right, the flash animations, the Web 2.0, the one that we call Web 2.0. Video and audio files, all right, so these are all under classified. The one that we uploaded onto the Moodle page is resources, all right? But Moodle has another classification, which we call module. So modules are components that the objective is to provide interaction to the students. So what are these modules? You have database, lessons, assignments, workshops, chats, forums, news, glossary, wiki, choice, quiz, all these are under modules. All right? Okay. So, this will be a summary of the module part. These are the activities under the module. Students organize, they're supposed to deliver some sort of product, organize, there's some sort of communication, collaboration, work being done, assessment, and reusability or SCORM. My paper, I do have it on the slide for each of the module. If you're wondering what is SCORM, what is wiki, what is glossary, it'll be in my paper. It's beyond my studies to go and present it here, because in my paper, I did present all the functions and what are the things that the teachers or the learners can do with this module. All right, so these are the tools Moodle offers to the users, the teachers, and the learners. Now we'll go into, can these tools actually help or foster learner autonomy? All right, especially when Moodle claims that it is the most flexible tool set that supports both blended learning and 100 online courses. When we talk about a tool that claims it supports 100% online courses, meaning there is learner autonomy or self-directed learning. But is this true? Yeah, whether the tools do support such claims. All right. Now, but findings from studies on self-directed learning using Moodle platform have been diverse. In nursing, this is also in my paper, in the nursing and engineering, they say it works. The students collaborate well, the students do this and students do that. They really take the initiative to go and put up the content. They themselves take the initiative. Language learning is very effective. Amandu and Costa as well. Yeah. But in language learning, in the field of English language teaching, they say virtual learning environment, all right, tend to be teacher-led. Teachers are the one who determine it. Environment very static, full of spoon-fed content, shaped by instructor goals rather than interactiveness or responsiveness towards students. So as you can see, in the field of language learning, Moodle is not that useful in fostering learner autonomy, because everything is determined by the teacher. The teacher decides the grammar item, the teacher decides the content. What about the student's contribution towards their own learning? Okay? All right, so for my, I'm going to evaluate the MWET course page as well as the Moodle tools itself, the one that I presented earlier on. And these are the checklists that I have, that I'll be using. All right, so there is I would say a mixture, a combination of different evaluation checklists, material evaluation checklists. From learner autonomy, I use something from Ellis and Sinclair, Dickinson, as well as Lake. And there's another checklist that I also use as a comparison. The criteria used to evaluate online materials in fostering or for fostering learner autonomy. So these are the criteria that I use to evaluate my particular Moodle page. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's much longer. My study is this is a small part that I'm presenting. It's actually bigger than this. But for the purpose of this particular paper, I only chose about 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Explicitness, accessibility, variety, opportunities for self-directed learning, self-assessment and monitoring. Meaning, these are criteria that I use to evaluate those two. Moodle tools, whether this is what it provides. Page. All right. So, findings and discussion. Criteria number 1, explicitness. All right. It means materials that claim to support self-directed learning, the instruction, the purpose, the learning objectives needs to be explicit to the learners. You have to incorporate not just what to study. Today we're going to learn present tense. Okay, that is content. But how about learning how to learn? Okay, so for learner autonomy, you have to go and put in how to learn. Students have to put in the skills or learn or develop the skills on learning how to learn. All right. It's possible to develop learning, learning how to learn materials and make the materials learning purpose explicit to students by insertion and instruction in the description. All right. So if you look at the Moodle tool, you can tell them, all right, you're not only learning tenses, but from developing learning tenses, then this is how you're supposed to start learning other grammar items. They are not just learning what is the form of past tense. But then after that, you will actually tell them within the description of the Moodle page, whatever that you're developing, that you design, you tell them, all right, apart from this, when you're learning grammar, focus on form, focus on function. So it's not just, I'm learning present tense today or past tense today, I'm also learning how am I going to apply the skills when I learn other grammar skills as well. So that's what learning how to learn means, all right? So when I look at the MUET preparatory course page, Moodle page, the content focuses mainly on what to learn, not so much on how to learn. You learn, these are the things, the tenses. This is the test strategies, test skills that students need to learn to go and score in their particular exam. These are the sample essays. I have sample essays uploaded onto the page from band 1 into band 6. That is what to learn. But how to learn? How are they supposed to develop? All right, their vocabulary, how are they supposed to go and use authentic materials to continue reading? That wasn't addressed on the Moodle page. Second criteria, accessibility. Accessibility refers to the fact that the material, learning how to learn material are suitable to the age, language level of students and the needs of the students. All right, since there are no learning how to learn materials on the MUET Moodle page, accessibility criteria does not apply here. But I had to go and put this in because based on the tracking features of the page, there were no contribution in terms of collaboration and communication. All right, there was nothing at all on the forums. There were some of the topics that were placed to generate some sort of discussion in the forums and chats, but no responses. And based on the study that I found, they say the reason being because when you have lower proficiency students, they are unable to express themselves. You want them to talk and or discuss about a certain forum, but they don't have the language to go and express their own ideas. So what happens, according to my tracking record of the particular Moodle page, students copy and paste, copy and paste. And so there's no language used at all. Yeah? And the problem, because according to Yang and Chen study, because low intermediate students, they don't have the language to go and be involved or take the initiative. All right. The next criteria, variety. So variety refers to the extent learners are exposed to different approaches to language learning, all right, through a variety of activity types in order to accommodate. You have creation, organization, delivery, communication, but these applications are not fully utilized by the the only tools we use, if you remember, there were two classifications. The only tools we used were resources. Modules, not so much. All right, the second last criteria. So opportunities for self-directed learning. Again, practice in self-directed learning refers to setting of objectives, setting up learner, deciding learning goals and course content and alternative ways in dealing with exercises. All right, so again, the Moodle tool does offer, all right, variety of activity types as I had presented earlier on in the literature review. Unfortunately, it's not fully utilized. The tool that was fully utilized for this particular course was content. All right, and finally, self-assessment and monitoring. So another important aspect of self-directed learning is opportunities for learners to self-monitor and self-assess themselves. This is important because in an exam class, normally they do expect learners to go and monitor their progress, be able to check their learning outcomes. All right, so we have things like assessment modules, quizzes, online tests, and surveys that are assessed. All right, for example, In WET, it is much easier for learners to self-assess receptive skills like listening and reading due to the fact you have only one possible answer. So you can do MCQ questions or reading comprehension. You can basically do or listening. Okay, you can play the audio tape and you get the students to answer and they can check the answers immediately. But for productive skills like speaking and writing, then it's difficult for learners to assess themselves. I'm talking about learner autonomy, all right? To assess themselves, how are they going to go and monitor their progress, whether they have achieved a certain level in speaking component, in writing component, and not unless it's delayed communication, all right? And this is due to the fact that when examiners, they are trained when examiners, by the way, when they assess listening, they assess speaking and writing is very impressionistic marking, yeah, based on the performance that's being, the candidate's performance. All right. So as a conclusion, the open source Moodle may provide opportunities. There are potential that helps to foster learner autonomy, all right, in its functionalities, the modules and resources, if both of them are fully utilized, all right? But for this study, it was found that only resources was fully utilized. Files are uploaded, slides are uploaded, all right? And you have all the assessment form. But again, that is determined by the teacher. That is, again, there's no collaboration on the students. They are the ones, don't have any room for negotiation. But we also need to go and consider the fact that the learners are lower intermediate students. They might not know how to contribute meaningfully. They don't have the language. Maybe they don't even have an idea. And one thing about MUET, because they always assume that the teacher or the instructor is the correct version. Yeah, but the thing that they can contribute is, of course, how they can go and develop language learning ability beyond the classroom. Have the learners being the tools provided, but unfortunately, it wasn't used fully, both by the course developer and by the students. All right. So there is some suggestions that I provided here. All right. And the conclusion of my study, the thing that I found was Moodle can be used. It has the potential for learner autonomy. However, because the students, they are of lower intermediate level, they don't have the skills yet, they don't have the language input yet to go and develop or contribute meaningfully. So for my particular teaching context, or for the teaching context for this study, it's not possible for it to be used as 100% online course or independent learning. Meaning, I develop a course, all right, you go and do it on your own. That was the initial aim of the Moodle page. All right, it's meant to complement whatever that has been done in class. But it's not possible because there's no contribution at all by the students because they are linguistically unable to do so. Or they don't have the self-directed skills being embedded or being developed in them. So for my particular teaching course, Moodle should be used as a blended learning mode, not 100% course learning, online course. Yeah, thank you very much.
So without further ado, we call Mr. Shahrudin Ismail from FST and the presentation title about how students utilizing the e-learning system.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. This paper is actually our initial study about how students use e-learning, especially goals. Okay, this is the first version of questionnaire. It's a simple and from the result that I have or we had, this kind of survey can be expanded into more what we call more details. So in this presentation or this paper, I just report the results, not analyze in details of what are the findings. Okay. Okay. The objective goals in terms of okay, based on dasar pembelajaran negara. Okay, this is in Malay. We are actually in optimum phase, which is IPTs is expected to have 30% of the courses in mode blending. Okay, and then USIM has implemented that each lecturers have about minimum 30% of what we call in the teaching PMP. And then in terms of content, this can be achieved because USIM we have good infrastructures, but just lately because of some of the network problem, maybe that could affect the what we call the access to the e-learning. Okay, these are the respondents. As usual, male will be less than female. 21% of the respondents are male. Those I opened this survey to my students, and because it's already end of the semester, so it's not. I cannot put it as compulsory. So these are the respondents. I have 150 actually. 150, and in a question of what they think goals, either goals are beneficial to the studies, 148 respond yes. Only two respond face to face with the lecturers. Okay, how frequent the student access goals in a semester? Majority, 57% weekly, 30% reported daily, 3% monthly. That's another question. And then 2 weeks once is 10%. Okay, maybe monthly. Those are those students who just access to do the quiz or to submit their assignment. Okay. Okay, how long in one day student spend their time accessing goals? Okay. The option is less than 1 hour, 1 to 2 hours, 3 to 4 hours, 5 to 6 hours, 6 to 12 hours, and 12 to 18 hours. Majority is between 1 to 2 hours. It still raises a question, those who spend 12 to 18 hours and also 6 to 12 hours. 6 to 12 hours is none, but 12 to 18 hours is about 1%, 2 people. This can be further investigated in next time when we can develop more detailed questionnaire. Okay, why? Well, what are the purpose student access goals? Can see here quizzes, tests online, the highest. Okay, for this question, student can take more than one option. So there is the total quiz and test, the highest, and then download notes, submit assignment, the rest are just less than 100. So from here, what I can conclude that students will access goals if the lecturers put something compulsory for them. For example, quizzes or submit assignments. Okay. For download documents, lecture notes, they can get from their friends. Okay. Read announcement and newsfeed. From my experience, when I post something in goals, student will not get it. Okay, student not get the announcement. Okay, what I did for the last four semesters, every subject, I will create a new FB groups. So because 99% of the students have an access FB all the times. Okay, so any announcement I just put on the social media. Okay, and then and at the same time also I put in a what we call in goals. So mostly they will respond to the Facebook. Okay, others participate in forum and also chat. I'm not sure whether they are really chat in goals. Others are others. Okay, very short one. This one remaining or already remaining? Okay. So that's the result that I want to share. I'm sure Gold have their own data, but this is from the student response. Okay. Maybe we can do something or calibrate in the future. Especially I know that Gold have many data, but don't have people to do the analysis. And then, as I said, goals, we are lucky here because the infrastructure and the policy make us achieve the national e-learning, what we call e-learning roadmap. Okay, with that, those are the things that I want to share. And then, thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Is there any questions that you want to ask? Okay, some token of appreciation. Okay, for the next presenter, we call Nur Dalila Muhammad Nazri. With the title Investigating Challenges Faced by Language Teachers in Integrating Goals into Their Grammar Lesson from Faculty of Major Language Studies. Thank you very much. 15 minutes. All right, okay. 15 minutes. 5 minutes for Q&A.
Oh, okay, no problem. Okay.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yep. Oh, okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much to the moderator and also Ghost for allowing us the opportunity to present this so-called preliminary research. Okay. What I can relate from other presenters just now is like goals, and also I would like to claim that this study has similar summary with Cik Julaina's slide just now. Okay, we agree to two conclusion. Yeah, the first one is students with low English proficiency language do not fully benefited from e-learning because of their they are linguistically limited, all right? And also, teacher is central in e-learning environment, yeah? So, this study is conducted by Puan Nur Syuhada and me, right? Okay, the topic is investigating the challenges faced by language instructors, okay? We are analyzing language instructors, not the students, yeah, in integrating goals in their grammar lesson, a case study. Yeah, for your information, I was the course moderator for GEP, General English Proficiency, and this is more like a very basic proficiency English course, yeah. Okay, so as an introduction, okay, in today's language classroom, a student should not expect the instructor to spoon feed every grammar rule he or she needs to know. I think this is we have heard a lot of the benefits of e-learning. I don't have to, elaborate more on this. Yeah, the student has to be self-directed, active, and autonomous by searching for the information available online or okay, this is based on USIM context on GEP. Yeah? The students who obtain Band 1 and 2 in MUET are streamed to sit for the basic course of English, namely GEP. And for last semester, yeah, again? Oh, okay. How to use this? This one, okay. Okay, and there are about 1814 students registered for this course, right? So basically, there are 25 to 30 students for each group, yeah? Okay, thank you very much. All right, so GEP students can be generally categorized as, okay, they are poor in language command, okay, have low level of motivation and self-confidence, passive, dependent on instructors to help them to grasp the basic grammar. Although there is no there is no study on GEP because this is, like I said just now, this is a preliminary study, okay? Inshallah, in the future, I hope, okay, my team will continue to study more on GEP and how can we help the students, yeah, to benefit from e-learning and benefit from this course especially, yeah, right? So, these are the problems and challenges of integrating e-learning in curriculum. This is based on the literature teaching practices. Okay, these are the challenges faced by the teachers, yeah, the instructors. Okay, staffs are not being well versed in the ICT. You know that today there are many applications such as Prezi, Voki, Go Animate. Okay, all the jargons, maybe some staff are technophobia and skeptical of e-learning. These are the reasons why teachers or maybe staffs are complacent with traditional teaching practices. We more or less we like to depend on the traditional style of teaching, right? Okay, and this should be overcome lah. I believe that, yeah. So academic staffs are burdened by heavy teaching load. Okay, academic staffs are too engaged with research and publication. What happened? Is there any way to fix? Oh, okay. Okay, basically this is this literature review is gained from a national study conducted by Prof. Amin. I think he is, everyone knows him, yeah. He's a leading figure in e-learning, yeah. Right, so the materials and method used, okay, data and findings are gathered from the researchers' observations and interviews, 3 English language instructors, and also they comprise of language teachers and also lecturers, yeah, interviewed at different times, and their speeches are recorded and analyzed. Constant observation of their goals page are done, and all participants are female. Okay, this is basically the background of the participants, yeah. So this is a qualitative study, yeah. All right, so this is a goal page. Sample of goal. Okay, results and discussions, yeah. All right, all instructors are highly motivated in integrating goals in their lesson, all right, because we find that okay, goals have helped us in increase the motivation and also the, make students passionate about learning, yeah. And all of them agree that the integration of goals in their lesson has added extra spices into their teaching experiences, yeah. Instructor supervision is the key factor. Okay, this is what, this findings is similar to Cik Juliana's slide just now, right? We believe that teachers are central. We believe that e-learning is not really, fully benefited by the students, yeah. So actually, teachers or instructors supervision is the key factor that leads to the success of e-learning implementation, yeah. And instructors should be enthusiastic and passionate about e-learning before they can foster students to be more engaged in the e-learning environment. Therefore, it is necessary for the instructors to be competent and updated on the latest technology and computer skills. I think I've talked to Cik Huda just now, and they said that Go is planning to have a training back this year. Training for the novice language teachers, especially how to use Go Squeeze, how to upload documents, files, and so on. I think that is a good act for us, to really boost the use of e-learning in USIM, yeah, inshallah. It is discovered that students of this course need to be constantly reminded. This is to remind them to check their goals, okay, and remind them, because they are not, like Cik Juliana said, they are not autonomous, right? They have to be constantly reminded, okay, as they always depend on the instructors to deliver the content rather than take charge of their learning. I believe that some of my colleagues here, okay, especially those who teach FKP, FPBU, and FPQS, they are very weak, okay. We have to. The students themselves, they really depend on the teachers, yeah. The learner autonomy is something, it's very hard to be achieved at the moment, yeah, compared to FST or maybe FM students. Maybe they are better, yeah. So the instructors face difficulty in introducing the e-learning concept to the student, especially if the students are at the beginner level of ICT skills. In fact, one of the participants, the lecturer in FBU, said that she has to teach how to use email, not really how to use quiz or whatever, email, okay? So imagine how that is the challenges, okay? How can we go about technology and e-learning and so on if, let's say, the students' level is at that, level. They agree that, okay, this is the participant, all of them, okay, agree that face-to-face class is still relevant to basic English proficiency course, and in fact still vital, yeah, because the students need real-life explanation and demonstration on grammar rules. Still, maybe because of that reason, we cannot totally transfer our class to be online, because the students really need us to be physically attend, in the class, right? Despite the students' lack of proficiency, however, it is discovered that students' motivation in participating in e-learning is quite amazing. But as what Cik Juliana said just now, they tend to copy paste. Okay, yes, we do have forum, but the students' responses, we know when we read the responses by the students, this is not their word. They take it somewhere, right? Especially when the tasks are closely monitored by the instructors and their participation are fairly rewarded, yeah? Okay, so these are the recommendations to, all of us, and also for the Goal Center. The instructors have to equip themselves. This is for us, right? And really hope that Goal Center, after this, for this year, 2015, they can have more and more training sessions, yeah, short training courses for maybe for one department, one unit. For example, for us, is English language unit. How can we, use Prezi, use Woki in our classroom, okay? And the implementation of blended learning techniques involving a balanced mix of face-to-face interaction, safe-paced learning, and online interactions. These would help the students in getting accustomed to the new way of learning, thus direct them to be independent and active, right? And the instructor should develop a collaborative teaching culture. Actually, at the beginning of the semester, I had an idea to have a goal page that is shared by all students. But when I opened the discussion among the teachers, and we believe that we should not have one page of goals. For GEP, because everybody has different style, different things to be uploaded. So that's why I have to not to continue this idea. But I don't know, maybe Cik Farid, after this, maybe we can have one shared goal page, one personalized goal page. I don't know. Can we do that in the next semester maybe, so that the instructors can contribute to one goal page, a major goal page. So for sharing e-content, for example. So USIM has to set a clear policy on this matter to encourage more and more instructors to be involved in the establishment of virtual curriculum and testing system. Due to that, explanation just now, I have one shared goal page said that how can USIM access me? How can USIM grade me just imagine if I am alone, upload all the quizzes, it's not going to be fair, because other teachers can simply take it from my work. So that is one policy that I think USIM or Goal Center can maybe come out, maybe to encourage the e-learning, e-content culture, because I believe that sharing is caring, sharing. Oh, that's all for now. Okay, thank you very much. Open to Q&A.
Yes.
Still have 7.
Just wait. Souvenir token. Yes. Okay, for the next presenter, I will call Muhammad Munsir Saleh. No? Oh, is it will be presented by Dr. Fauzia? Dr. Fauzia? He's not going to present? Hospital? He went to hospital. So that means he's not going to present. Okay. Maybe we'll start with the last one first. Also by Dr. Fauzia and also Moshhud Nuruddin. So can you start first?
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. Good afternoon, the organizer, the co-presenters, and especially recognize the presence of my supervisor, Dr. Fosia Abdul Wahid. I'm talking about an assessment of blended learning readiness among students in university in Fosia Abdul Wahid. Discussion outline, we have the introduction, the research objectives, the research question, literature review, materials and method, result and conclusion, and the references. Introduction. The advancement in technology and development in teaching and learning methodologies have presented new circumstances for more efficient and effective implementation of learning programs, which make it possible for students and teachers to communicate in a traditional method cited by Ekman 2007. These are characterized by introduction of flexible and innovative teaching and learning technology into teaching, being cited by Fogel and Klezen 2011. Here, with the widespread of internet technology and advances in computer and information technologies, as well as network learning, made it possible to design and utilize new generation learning environments that are realistic, authentic, and engaging. Here we are talking about blended learning. Blended learning is just as simple as integration of face-to-face classroom and online resources with the aid of technologies for interaction and communication. The research objectives is the first one is to examine the perception on computer-mediated instruction among students in the universities. The second objective is to evaluate the while the third objective is to determine the computer security awareness knowledge among students in the university. The research question goes thus. The first one is, what is the view among students about computer-mediated instruction? The second research question is, what is the view among students about adopting blended learning in the university? The last research question is, what is the level of computer security awareness knowledge among students in the university? The literature review, we'll be talking about definition of blended learning, the types of blended learning, factors to be considered for a successful blended learning approach, information security in blended learning, and merit and demerit of blended learning. Here, the literature review, there are different perceptions or different views of different authors based on blended learning. The first one I cited is Driscoll. The year is 2002. He defined blended learning as it meant different things to different peoples based on general idea in Driscoll examination of applied view of blended learning. 4 different concepts as to be considered in the literature review summarized as the first one is to combine or mix mode of web-based technology, e.g. collaborative learning, stream video, audio, and text to accomplish an educational tool goals. The second one is to combine various pedagogical approaches to produce an optimal learning outcome with or without instruction technology. The third one is to combine any form of instructional technologies and to mix or combine instructional mode of teaching. Here, the second author is Twing. The year is 2003. They contribute learning with online learning with the aid of internet technology. The third author is Graham, year 2004. Graham critically considered different ways in which blended learning has been defined. He observed that all the available definitions for blended learning were variation and repetition of few common terms. Types of blended learning, you have blended learning, you have changing teaching spaces, and we have the changing role of instructors. Under changing teaching spaces, we have same time, same place. We have a different time, we have same place. The third one, we have same time, different places, and we have a different time, different places for the mode of instruction between the learners and the instructors. Factors to be considered for a successful blended learning approach. Stetson and Gerbig, 2008, mentioned some of the factors to be considered for any successful blended learning approach in a paper delivered at Melbourne in 2008. As a result, the success of a blended learning and its efficiency in an organization consists of many factors and elements in which each and every one is of high importance on its own and is supporting the other factors, which are itemized below. The first factor to be considered is institutional consideration. That is, the institution must consider on which kind of blended learning model are to be used. The second consideration is to teachers and the lecturers. We are talking about blended learning. Here you have to consider into consideration the teachers and the lecturers. Without teachers or the lecturers, there is nothing like blended learning. The third one is consideration to the students and pedagogical consideration. Information security in blended learning. There is no way you'll be talking about blended learning without talking about the security features of blended learning. Blended learning being a system based on internet is being prone to many threats. whereby such information needs to be secure. Information security is just the protecting or getting of information from any threat, which may be intentional or unintentional, which may be computer-based or uncomputer-based. As a system that depends so much on the use of internet, especially information and communication technology, blended learning is subject to effect from every threat encoded by the ICT. This includes deliberate software attacks, the viruses, the worms, the macros, the DOS, denial of service. The second one is the technical failure, software failure, and errors, such as bug, coding problems, or no loopholes. The third one is technical hardware failures or error equipment. Rosenberg 2011 placed e-learning on 3 fundamental criteria, which can be applied to blended learning due to its much dependency on ICT. These criteria are as follows. Number 1, network capable updatings, storage retrieval, distribution and sharing of information. That is, the network must be highly strong for easy accessing of information or data for the students during the blended learning, during the class. Delivering to the end user via computer using standard Ethernet technology and focus on the broadest field of blended learning. The materials and method, you have the research design, the data collection, the location of the research, the data analysis, and the subject. The research design is just to assess the assessment of students on the readiness of blended learning among students in universities in Islam Malaysia. The data collection, a well-structured questionnaire was being distributed to the students of University of Islam Malaysia, Faculty of Science and Technology, FST. That is the location of the research. We have the data analysis. The data is being analyzed with the head of SPSSS, Social Package for Social, that is a Statistical Package for Social Science. And we have the subject. These are the respondents from the faculty. The result and the conclusion. There were more female respondents, which is 69.2%, than male respondents, which is 30.8%. The majority of the respondents were undergraduate. There are 46.6%, that is 235 of the respondents whose age is below 21 years, 40.7% of respondents whose age is below 21 to 30 years, and the 11.1% of respondents which age is from 31 to 40 years, 1.4% whose age is from 41 to 50 years, and 0.2% is above 5 years. That is the demographic factor. The research question, the first research question is, what is the view among students about adopting blended learning in the university? From this, we deduce that from the analysis carried out, it shows that 55%, which is equivalent to 277 of students, agree on adopting blended learning, whereas 37.5%, equivalent to 189 students, they are neutral about what is blended learning, whereby 3.8%, equivalent to 19 students, strongly agree, and 3.6%, equivalent to 18 students, disagree, while 0.2% strongly disagree, respectively. The second research question goes thus: what is the view among students about computer-mediated instruction? From the analysis, it shows that 50.6%, equivalent to 255 of students, agree on computer-mediated instruction. 42.5%, equivalent to 214 students, is neutral about what is meant by computer-mediated instruction, while 4.6%, which is 23, they are strongly agree about what computer-mediated instruction is all about. 2.4%, which is 12, disagree, while not strongly disagree, respectively. From the ANOVA test analysis being carried out, the p-value shows is 0.116, which is greater than 0.05. This means that there is no statistically significant difference between course level and computer-mediated instruction. The research question 3, what is the level of computer security knowledge among FST students? Yes, from the analysis being carried out, since the p0 is less than 0.05 from the one Saputi test analysis being carried out. It means that there is statistically significant difference between the cost level based on computer security awareness, which shows that 94.2%, that is equivalent to 474 of students, agree on computer security awareness, whereas 0.2%, equivalent to 1 as a student, is neutral, while 5.4% is 27 strongly agree about security awareness among the students in the university. And in 0.2%, have the highest frequency of computer security awareness knowledge, followed by master degree and doctorate degree. Malaysia is chosen as the case study of the research because our system of education is of high standard when compared to other developing countries in Asia and Africa. Also, Malaysian institutions are technologically advanced. As a result, the use of ICT has been given an utmost priority in most of the public universities in Malaysia, which help in facilitating effective blended learning system. A result and conclusion. We evaluated from the study that 55.2% of the students are having good insight of computer-mediated instruction. It means only more half of the population are in support of computer-mediated instruction. Also, we are able to assess from the study and INVA that 58.8% of the students have good insight for blended learning adoption. Also, there is no significant association between gender and adopting blended learning. Then, we deduce from the study that 99.6% of the students are well conscious and aware of computer security. However, this percentage is well satisfied. Nearly all the students have the knowledge of computer security. In conclusion, majority of the respondents are satisfied with the adoption of blended learning. Most of them present a satisfactory response toward the computer security issues, and some of the respondents needed to be given orientation on computer-mediated instruction. Without an excellent executive support from the rim of the university, no university will be able to utilize the blended learning approach, and great executive support will provide greater satisfaction for the student, which directly enhance the institution's academic excellence. The references, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Muhammad Munsir. For the last or final presentation, I will call Dr. Fauzi Abdul Wahid from FST.
Next.
This one.
Kalau pointer yang merah ni.
Oh, okay, this one je lah. Okay.
20 minit je.
Ya, cepat je. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. To be presented by my student, but he has some emergency matters, so I'm going to present for him. The title of this paper is a review of elements for assessment of e-learning readiness in Libya universities. Okay, this is the outline. So the abstract is regarding e-learning in Libya universities, where is going to review what are the elements needed to be assessed before implementing e-learning. Yeah. Okay, I think most of you are familiar with e-learning definitions. So basically, it implements multimedia technologies in teaching and learning. At the moment, Libya is still implementing a traditional classroom teaching and learning system. So my student is going to propose what are the elements needed to be assessed in order for them to implement e-learning. The model that he's going to do is by Darab and Montazar, 2011. Okay, where in the study they employed a detailed survey and analysis of the relevant statistical in order to come up with a model for e-learning. This is the model. There are two parts, where the first part is educational, products readiness, and the second part is education. Where in the education, in this paper is going to be focused on the educational process readiness. There are basically 6 elements. The first one is content, second regulations, third financial, fourth human resource, fifth culture, and sixth is security. Okay, content. Students often face many problems and challenges during the implementation of e-learning activities. For example, difficulty to access the online information appropriately. As for the regulations, the student university as a whole. All right, that means first they need to outline what are the regulations for them to implement e-learning or not. The execution of the e-learning innovation in higher training organization raised the money-related dilemma. So, budget is a big issue for them. Human resource, there are various human resource roles who supported the technology-based environment, but the role of the lecturer is the most important in designing the e-learning environment. Next is culture. There is other challenges face the e-learning technology supporting of the traditional teaching model by some of the academic staff. Those staff has skepticism about the success of e-learning, where some of them believe that e-learning can't achieve the required quality needed. Okay. The last part will be security. Secure environment of e-learning requires avoiding 4 types of threat or attack, which is manufacturing, modification, interruption, and interception. They recommends an authentication process in order to determine the process of user legal liability. Okay, so security also an important aspect to be reviewed and assessed before implementing e-learning in an university. Conclusion and future work. It can be concluded that there are vital elements that need to be a and Montazar 2011 model. These elements are content regulations, financial, human resource, culture, and security. E-learning is the best solution to keep up with the development in the education world. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Fauzia. Is there any questions? I don't think so. Okay, thank you. Okay, not sure what is the... because we're waiting for the next...
The other room still haven't finished yet. In the other room, we will have a best paper presentation award, best paper award presentation after this, during the closing ceremony. So, so while waiting, if you want to go to the other room, please do so, and I'll try to see if we can change the venue from DKS 1.3 to this room. For now, thank you, and please wait for the closing ceremony. Thank you. Yeah. Assalamualaikum. We will continue with Prof. Rozahan, the final presentation. And
Testing. No. Okay. Ramesh. You have to wait for the next. Tak ada sekali lagi. Pancung pada. Mana. Ha. Okey, teruskan. Can we start? Are they all here already? Tak ada. Ada kami? Last. Sekejap. Masya Allah. Okay, can I start? Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil mursalin wa ala alihi wasahbihi. Okay, as the saying goes, man proposes, God disposes. I was supposed to be in the other room. Now I have to shift to this room with a bigger crowd. Alhamdulillah. So we can only plan there is a bigger planner. Anyway, I would like to share with you today my presentation. Hopefully it won't take very long. Okay, because I know I'm standing between you and lunch. Just to share with you what I did in USIM, and I teach physics, and this is my mobile learning flipped classroom concept. I share this presentation with another physics lecturer, Dr. Zulistiana. But before that, I have to say that I have been in USIM for the last 28 years, and I just joined USIM in the last 5 months. Okay, so you have heard of flipped classroom? Yes. So let me ask you a question. This is my basic question every time when I do a presentation. Tell me what I did just now. What did I do? When you make a presentation to your student, if nobody paying attention to you, you blank the screen so that they look at you and not look at the screen. What did I do? What did I press? I press B for black. When I press again, it comes white. I press W, it becomes white. So if I press W again, it comes back. So you can use this technique in your classroom. This is PowerPoint 101. Okay? So, abstract, you don't have to read because it's already in the abstract book. Now, I have a premise. We start with the premise. The premise is that in 1991, lama 23 years ago, Bates, a big name in distance learning, argues that students in conventional institution, he said, for both conventional and distance learning students, by far the largest part of the studying is done alone, interacting with textbooks and other learning media. He said this 23 years ago, and it is probably more true now. Yeah, people use a lot of media. Now we also have a different kind of learner, not like when we were learners before. We had to sit on the floor, we use a blackboard, whiteboard now. We may be old, but our students are not old, and they are what we term as 21st century learner, where they are mobile, they are on the move all the time. They can walk, talk, eat, hear, and write all at the same time. Yeah, you can walk and then they have in a time where content must go directly to the learner. Okay, now we are looking at personalized content and environment, so our content must change. We have to now start chunking our content. Now the landscape has become ubiquitous, means you can learn something anywhere. Yeah, classroom is no longer relevant. So now we have to go for enrichment in learning experience and enhancement in knowledge retention. This is our job now. This is the demand of the 21st century learner. which is very different from our demands a long time ago. So I'm going to share with you a brief history of the use of SMS in education, my experience, what I did in USIM in 2008. I was teaching physics, optics, TIF 212. And this is for the distance learning student. Yeah, means they go to work like you and me every day, and they come back at night, then only they start to study, and sometimes they don't even open the module, not even once in the whole week or 2 weeks. So now, what I do is I try to incorporate the use of SMS to incorporate some pacing of content to them. So what I do is to send them one SMS per day, from Monday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. So this is exactly the same content in the book or module, but in sequence. So even if they did not open the module for the whole week, 5 pieces of content will go to them. Okay, so one day, one SMS. So if you look at the message, very straightforward. This is a course called optics. First message on dispersion, concern. Okay. If in an exam, I were to ask them, what is the definition of dispersion? The first message is the exact answer. Okay. Second, third, fourth message are the characteristics of normal dispersion. If I were to ask them in an exam, give me 3 characteristics of normal dispersion. Message number 2, number 3, number 4 are the exact answers. It's the same content that can be found in the book. Okay, so now they have no time to open the book, so the content from the book go to them. So, I'm giving them content. Same thing that is found in the book. So this is what the message looks like. This is week by week message that I prepare in advance. In fact, if you look at, lajunya. Oh, very fast. If you look at this, these are all typed on the handphone. Yeah, all this equation, blah, 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 is all typed on the handphone, and this refer to, let's say, definition of something, page 78, page 78. Page 78, this refers to the page in the book. Okay, so when you look at the message, they can open the book or whatever, so it's not, okay. And the whole idea is to deliver content in the form of SMS directly to the student. We don't want the content to be stuck in a textbook or stuck in a CD or even stuck in a website. So we take it out, chunk it, send it to the learner in terms of SMS messages, and both the web page and SMS can be accessed by the learner via the mobile device. Too fast? Okay? Okay. So I actually won. We won a small award because of this project. Won a winner of Asia Pacific Mobile Learning. Blah 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 whatever. Okay. Also we used a handphone. Also won another award in 2010, Award India, for Open Distance Learning Initiative of the Year, and another one in 2011 we used mobile device to teach parents of deaf children. Deaf children go to school in the morning. Go home, they cannot talk to their parents. The parents don't know sign language. So we teach sign language through SMS to the parents at home. So word by word. So what I'm going to share with you is what I've done in FST in the teaching of physics. So basically, I'm addressing 2 courses. One, SFB 1012, Electricity and Magnetism, which is handled by Dr. Zulistiana. And me, I teach final year nanotechnology. I only have 15 students because it's a final year course, and Dr. Zulis has 80 students. This is I share with her. So I'm going to show you what I did. This is what it looks like in terms of the SMS message that I sent to them. Same as what you saw just now. Okay? So now, this is what the student received from me on their handphone, which I send every day. Now WhatsApp is free. When I started in USIM, I was using SMS, I have to pay. Now it's free. They are not expected to answer. I don't want an answer from them. I send them a message week by week. So this is the kind of message that they get and they read. And this is the pedagogy of the SMS. Okay? They receive the message. They have to read the message. This is the pedagogy. This is what I instruct to them. Get the message, read the message. Then copy the message somewhere. I don't care where. On the wall, on the floor, in a book. I don't care where they copy. Because they must one time read and write. Because in an exam, they're going to write, not type. Or not just read. Yeah? They don't tell me the answer verbally. In the exam, they have to write. So I must have some coordination between the eyes and the hand. So they read and they write. Okay? And they store the mobile message in the device. So for the learner, I only ask for 1 to 2 minute investment a day. That's it. It's just like receiving a love message. Yeah? You only read for 1 minute. But you think you remember it for the rest of the day, you remember it for the rest of the month. You will be reading the message over and over. Same message. You'll be reading over and over again because it's very specific. And knowledge retention is very high. Okay? Then, the same messages, the same block is uploaded in the portal, in the goals portal of my course, 1 week after. And some messages are linked to further content. So this is the flip. Okay? It can be a PDR, OER, a PDF, OER, a video, an URL, a journal article. And this is followed by quiz and discussion in class. So this is the flip. Then some content, then you come back to class and do some quiz and discussion. Okay? So, this is what the SMS looks like in gold. So, you can see from here that there are links to further content. So, they can either access this content from their mobile device or they can go to goals on the PC and when they click, it is linked to an article. Okay? So this message here is linked to an article, chemical nanotechnology from molecule to application, so they have to read. These are final year students. No more low order taking order. This is high order. They have to read themselves, synthesize the information. We come to class, we discuss about it. Okay? So they must have the ability to read and synthesize the paper. So I'm linking SMS message to content on the web. Either they go to the web or they access the same content on the web through the mobile device. I don't care how they do it. Okay? Because the future of learning is now different. Okay? The future of learning is now, I highlight 3 words because it relates to exactly what I've done because it's now personalized. Personalized because the learning tool is in their pocket. It's in your pocket. You don't have to go to a lab. You don't have to go to a cyber cafe. You don't have to borrow your... It's just like now, but it's in your pocket here. Same. Both are tools. Okay. And mobile. Anywhere. Balik kampung, go overseas, toilet, whatever. Yeah, some people take handphone to the toilet. I don't know why. Maybe send private messages. And then ubiquitous means anytime, anywhere. Okay? And these are the other parts of learning, which is social connectivity. Listening is augmented, is visual, is virtual, it's sharing, it's tagging. So this is the kind of thing that must be on our mind when we are designing our content now, not just the traditional manner. E-learning is looked in a very big context now. Yeah, e-learning that has to be ubiquitous, e-learning that can be tagged, can be shared, can be. They say now the reality now is virtual. Have you heard of that? The reality is now virtual. Ada lagi tak? So in conclusion, the future of learning is now personalized, mobile and ubiquitous. Now we have a plethora of resources available to the learners. Actually, your learning curve is not so steep because you do not have to learn Java, you do not have to learn HTML, you do not have to learn animation, simulation. You can find everything on the internet. Just don't take people's work and say it's your work. Yeah, just quote the source. In fact, if you use people's work and you tell, okay, this is the whole point of internet, which is the short form for international networking. Okay, cuma jangan cilok, jangan ambil orang punya harta, kata kita punya harta. So, in my opinion, SMS can be an innovative, cheap pedagogy to facilitate learning. at the first stage. Okay, at least learning is continuous. It's very simple. Sometimes you want to cancel a class. What do? Send message to goals. Write a message, put on the door. They are in bed. They have to come to class, look on the door, oh yeah, class cancel. But if you send a message to them, they come out of bed, read the message, oh, today class cancel, close the phone, tarik ke selimut, tidur balik. Correct? Did you wish good luck to your student before the exam? How do you wish them selamat menju jaya? I pray for your success in your exam. Put notice on the wall, send to go. Dia dah balik kampung dah. Tak boleh buka dah internet. Send a message, every student will get a personal doa from you for good luck in the exam. So, I think SMS has very high potential that we can use in many ways, psychologically, educationally, and this is all I got to share with you today. So if you want to do some SMS project, I think we can do a lot to write about, a lot to publish. I'm willing to share with you what I've done. And there are so many, I do physics, we can do everything else, management. They can sit in the cafe and discuss about it. You can instruct them to do that, and then we come to class and have a further discussion about it. Okay? So with this, thank you for listening. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Oh,
thank you so much. Thank you so much for staying with us up till the end. And thank you, Prof.
Okay.
We hope that the session today can help us improve e-learning. And I learned a new thing today, new words, technophobia. So I hope everybody here is not technophobia, and I believe we can further develop and establish e-learning in USIM, also in other institutions in Malaysia and also throughout the world. So to end this session, I would like to invite Prof. Dr. Rozahan to conclude this session today, and also to present the Best Paper Award. Both also can.
The last speaker also closed the thing. Okay, this is a very simple closing, not so much as a closing, but we wish to thank all presenters. I know academics, it's not very easy to write papers, take a lot of time, and preparing PowerPoint also take a lot of time. You never prepare PowerPoint 2 weeks ahead, you prepare a PowerPoint either the night before or the morning before. That is when the adrenaline flow and the idea also flow, you know. I do the same thing, don't worry about it. But I think our goals is to acculturate the use of technology in a meaningful way to make it more exciting and motivating both for the lecturer and the students, because e-learning is here to stay. It's not going to disappear. In fact, it's going to get worse, because I just heard about from Prof. Ismail. We heard about cloud computing. Now he's talking about fog computing. Bukan sekadar awan, kabus terus. Just don't get lost in the fog. And nobody will find you. Okay. So, a very thank you to Dato' Mustafa, who spent some time with us this morning to officiate our ceremony, and to all of you who took the time to stay, you're still here, and present the paper. We also stream our session live from the morning until now, and we can also observe the viewers. We hope to do this many more times in this year. And we want to invite local experts. We spend only half a day, lunch and then balik. Not too long, okay? So we can also share the expertise from people from UKN, UPM, UITM. And also we want to encourage postgraduate students who are maybe waiting for the viva or in the final stages of the research to come and share their research. Okay, we can even go further by publishing the papers, because we at Goals also intend to launch a journal. Okay, all in the pipeline. So it doesn't matter that there's not many people here. If you can encourage your friends to kind of do more active research in classroom, goals will try to facilitate. We have Tuan Haji here. Ni rambut lagi putih pada saya tapi datang juga untuk mendengar. Terima kasih Haji. So let's say because he appreciate knowledge. Knowledge is for everyone, not age. So with that, I would like to conclude and to thank everybody, and we hope to get your support for more activities in goals. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Prof. So now I would like to invite also Dr. Najwa to the stage for the presentation of Best Paper Award.
How many papers did we receive?
We have 15 papers, 12 oral presentation, 3 poster presentation.
Okay.
And the winner is
Ada ke orang kat sini?
Mr. Ahdiat bin Abdul Malik.
Where is he? Dia dah balik. Bersama dengan siapa? With That's okay. Never mind. We will give it to him later on.
Okay. So the winner is Mr. Ahdiat.
Representative, boleh?
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So maybe you can bagi kat saya. Bagilah tak apa, tak masalah. Alah, apa saya. Dengan dia beri salam dengan saya bagi je. No problem. Okay. Sampaikan salam kepada dia. Okay. Then he has to pay to get it from you. Okay.
By the presentation of the Best Paper Award, we are now at the end of this event. But before we end this program, I would like to express our gratitude to each of the presenters who attended this colloquium, and thanks to all of our participants, special guests, and also guest speaker. And I do believe all of you have received this small paper. So we have one QR code for survey form. Please do help us improve. Please rate us. Please tell us what to improve and what to do next. Just scan the QR code, or maybe if you don't have any scanner, you can go to our website gccolloquium.usim.edu.my. We also have the survey link to the survey form at our colloquium. We also like to thank our committee, Stracom, PTM, FEM, and everybody for your support throughout the organizing of this event. Again, we would like to thank every parties and also our sponsor, ELC Sdn Bhd. Thank you so much for coming today. Sorry for the late mentioning. But I hope that we here today have a very good event, and also see you again in next colloquium and conference. And thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Please do have our lunch at the FEM dining room.